forget everything that you learned about bankruptcy, and then we're gonna start fresh, okay? We're gonna start fresh. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, look, they say how to dispute a bankruptcy, guys. Guess what? You don't. You're like, what, Rico, you don't? No, but we have to go back, all right? I just wanted to give you a little trailer of what's gonna come, right? What do you mean you don't dispute a bankruptcy? Well, hold up. Let's do a little bit of history, all right? Back in 2014, the FTC conducted a study, right? The FTC conducted a study that 1 in 5 Americans have at least one error across their tri-merge reports, all right? That was back in 2014. Imagine now, way more, okay? What does that mean? If the FTC conducted this study that there's at least one inaccuracy across your tri-merge reports, that's about 100 million Americans. If the FTC conducted a study, now you have confidence in disputing. There's 5 things that gets items deleted off a credit report, guys. And pay attention to these 5 things, because using these 5 methods and or reasons can potentially get anything negative off of your credit report if you leverage these 5 things. Number 1, I'm gonna get the cat out of the bag. It is identity theft. What do we mean by identity theft? I'm not talking about the FTC credit sweeps. I'm talking about if you're a true victim of identity theft like I was, right? You are sitting on a big case in a bag. I'm talking about 50 grand and up, okay? So if you're a true victim of identity theft, 1. 2 is inaccuracies. That's the big one we want to focus on. Inaccuracies, guys, okay? 3 is unfair practices. That's mainly for the FDCPA. 4 is unverifiable. And 5 is incomplete. If you leverage those 5 reasons in disputing, you'll get your deletion, okay? But you gotta be strategic. Now that we know the history of the FTC, we know that they're credit reporting agencies. They're not credit bureaus, they're credit reporting agencies, right? Messed up. They mess up every day, all right? And there's thousands and thousands of cases and violations that not only you as CROs are going to witness, but you're also going to see how there's a lot of violations to where you can get your client remedy, deletion, and compensated for you and the client, okay? So who would like to get compensated without even disputing? All right, so what do I mean by don't dispute a bankruptcy? Listen, guys, I'm partnered with a lawyer as well as Nicole too. Credit pair shifting. Credit pair is moving to more partnering up with consumer and FCRA and FDCPA attorneys. It's the best way to move your credit repair business forward, okay? What do I mean by this? They sue and know the counsel of experience and doing Equifax, and etc. all day, every day, okay? So they know what to look for. This is what they do. This is their job. They're licensed for this. Even though it doesn't mean that we can't do the same thing. People talk down upon people doing pro se and you're practicing law, what have you. It doesn't matter if you have the knowledge, right? You know how to write dispute letters. But partnering up with the licensed nationwide attorney, you always feel safer. You always feel like you're getting things done the right way, okay? I'm just drop gems. Look, where you can partner up with a lawyer is you can go to avvo.com, avvo.com. That's one way to partner up with lawyers. And to partner up with a lawyer, when you're looking for these lawyers, you can also go to Google and go to NACA, National Consumer Advocates. And then what you can do is type in lawyer and find the lawyer in your city and state. Now, what you should be doing is not paying for a lawyer up front. That is ridiculous. Do not pay for a lawyer up front, okay? Don't ever do that. They usually do pro bono, right? Meaning, if there's a violation with the bankruptcies, let's circle back to the bankruptcies, how we don't dispute it, all right? So you should be partnering with a lawyer. What we do and what I do is, for example, I'll tell my clients, hey, if you have a bankruptcy on your credit report, what we have is we are partnered up with the best lawyers in the nation, to where if there's an inaccuracy attached to that bankruptcy, my lawyer, I send your reports to my lawyer without charging you and or disputing you, right? I send it to the lawyer, and if he finds that there's an inaccuracy, he's gonna ask for permission to get your contact. I'll ask you as a client to get the permission to send it to the lawyer. Y'all connect, and within less than 90 days, typically 60 days, most likely you're gonna get the deletion off of that credit report. The client is gonna get a compensation, and yourself is gonna get compensation for introducing you guys. And you haven't even charged them yet. Let's go back on the bankruptcies, okay? I'm gonna talk about the old way people are doing it, and nothing wrong with that. And this is coming out of my lawyer's mouth. Disclaimer, I am not a lawyer, a CPA, or a financial advisor. I just got the most video client testimonials in the industry. That's what my slogan is. You guys are focused on the bankruptcy. I know this is a bankruptcy call, but you guys are focused on the bankruptcy. Really, what you need to do, guys, is understand how the credit report weighs, but breaking down and educating the client on what consists of the credit report. A bankruptcy is a public record, okay? A lot of people are disputing and saying, it's not mine. It'll get it off, but you're gonna be in deep water later, and I'll explain that. But listen, you should be worried more of the items attached to the bankruptcy versus the bankruptcy. There's people out there with 800 FICO scores getting approved for shit, okay? There's people out there getting approved for shit for bankruptcies. Why? Because it's just a public record. It doesn't weigh as much as the derogatories attached to it. Does that make sense, guys? Now, where people mess up at is they want to get rid of the bankruptcy. It's easy to get rid of the bankruptcy, but you deleted the bankruptcy, but the stuff that has attached to the bankruptcy is still on there, right? You're contradicting yourself. What do I mean by contradicting yourself? Well, you got to know what to look for, but usually when you're disputing bankruptcies, you're either saying it's not mine or the bankruptcy removes, right? But then you go to dispute the directions of the derogatories that are in the bankruptcies, and you're saying, wait, this was included in the bankruptcy, it should be gone. Wait a minute, you told us this was not yours, it should be off your credit report. So which one is it? You're putting your foot in your mouth, and it won't hold up in court if you want to go litigation-wise. So then they put the bankruptcy back on, and now you're starting square one, which is good in a way because now you're doing it the right way, but they actually told you that. You see what I'm saying? So I know what I'm talking about, all right? Now, to dispute the negative items that are attached to the bankruptcy, that's what you want to do first. I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry. I'm going to teach you guys how to legally, per my lawyer's mouth, remove a bankruptcy the legal way, okay? So if you guys, I'm gonna show you what to look for, but I'm gonna show you the legal way that nobody in the internet is really talking about, all right? So I'm gonna show you the legal way how to dispute and get rid of the bankruptcies the legal way, all right? So what to look for, all right? You gotta look for balances. So if the balance is reporting, you got to look for the balance reporting after the account is dismissed, after the chapter 7 and chapter 13, those are the two mainly ones, right? You want to see after it's dismissed, if there's a balance attached to that, you guys have a case. If there's a balance, I'm talking about the derogatories attached to the bankruptcy, if there's a balance, you have a case, straight up. And that's just one violation. That's just one thing to look out for, guys. And here's another thing too. The lawyer likes fresh files. What do I mean by fresh files? A lot of credit repair owners, they like to, they like to dispute everything they can and then send it to the lawyer. No, you messed up your chances of getting that deletion into a remedy. Let the lawyer do his work first and then you follow up after. Does that make sense, guys? So he doesn't really like disputed profiles. And I'm gonna give you a quick tip on, because a lot of people come from previous credit repair companies, right? Am I right? They say, hey, I just tried this credit repair company. They're not communicative. They didn't get no results, so I'm trying you. Well, you have to reset the file. How do you reset the file? What you're gonna do is you're gonna call into headquarters and/or Experian TransUnion Equifax, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, hey, I'd like to pause and stop all pending disputes and go back to the original, right? And erase all comments. That's huge, guys. The reason why you're sending letters in, or when you're sending letters in and it's coming back verified, that comment section is not erased or corrected. Erase all comments. That's a big tip, guys. Huge tip, okay? Reset the file and erase all the comments. That's huge, to reset all the file from scratch. You're gonna wait probably even 30 days so it can reset, and then you're gonna redispute. But when you redispute, then you go to the lawyer. Does that make sense, guys? Is that making sense? Why there's no disputes? Because basically, and I'm gonna give you the law that the lawyer even sues for and the claim. It's a procedures claim, guys. 15 USC 1681 EB. A consumer reporting agency shall assure maximum possible accuracy to whom the report is concerning. All right, that's the gist of it, right? But it's an EB claim, it's a procedures claim. It's not a 15 USC 1681I, which is a reinvestigation claim, right? Because there's not reinvestigation, it's just clear right there. You don't have to dispute, it's just plain and simple. That's why I say don't dispute. If the violation is right there, you don't even have to dispute, you just file the claim. And you can do so yourself, but I'd rather you partner up with the lawyer, okay? All right, so another thing is for chapter 7 and chapter 13, check the date of the filing. The filing date, guys. You want to check the filing date, okay? The statuses, remember I talked about those statuses and the comments? Has to be included in the bankruptcy. It has to have a zero balance or no comment at all. If there's anything other than that, if there's even 1 cent, 1 penny, then that's a violation. That's a case right there. Yeah, it has to be nothing in the status at all or a zero balance. If there's anything, over that, then you have a case. Okay, so you know what to look for now. Balances, reporting, account open after the BK. If there's an account open after the BK, that's another violation. Okay, how can an account be included in the BK and then an account is open after? It's just, again, guys, the FTC conducted that study that 1 in 5 Americans have at least one error across their credit reports. It happens all the time. Computer error, man-made error. All right. This is how the old way, which it still works. Don't get me wrong. You want to do this after the negative items or the negative derogatory marks attached to the bankruptcies are deleted. Okay. Now the old way, which is not necessarily the wrong way, but it's not the legal way per my lawyer's mouth. So if you're still doing it this way, kudos to you. It works. I've used it and it does work. So what happens is, everybody know about the county clerk's office. I'm gonna go over that one to show you how to do it the old way. The secondary reporting agencies like LexisNexis, SageStream, Credco, CoreLogic, Innovis, etc. Right? Those are other credit reporting agencies that not a lot of people dispute. You can also dispute off of the credit reporting agencies. All right. So LexisNexis is a data risk solution. They're data brokers, guys. LexisNexis is where everything is housed. Go call LexisNexis and order your LexisNexis report. You're gonna have a book and stack like this. I'm talking about to when you were born, who you dated, if you bought a gun. I was in the military, so it's your security clearance, everything like that. It has everything. Your whole life is on that record. I had 118 pages, somebody said. Look at that. LexisNexis, you're gonna order your report. And usually you're gonna see that bankruptcy in that LexisNexis, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the county clerk's office and you're gonna basically ask them, hey, who reported this? And the county clerk's office is gonna say, we don't report to the credit bureaus. Interesting. Who do they report to, right? They report to LexisNexis, but who does LexisNexis get it from? They get it from a website called Pacer, PACER.com. Yes, Pacer, okay? You can look up any case law, any lawsuit in there in America. Now, I know there's multiple ways to get rid of the bankruptcy, but that's how they get it, okay? Now, it's still a public record. What you're finding is inaccuracies, whether it's through Pacer and or LexisNexis or how it's reporting. But listen, I'm going over the old school method. I'm gonna go over the new method soon. So you get that county clerk's office letter. I recommend going in person to get that county clerk's office letter saying that they do not report to credit bureaus, okay? You're gonna attach that letter and dispute it with LexisNexis. Back and forth banter, back and forth banter. Once that is off the LexisNexis report, right, then you dispute and go through the regular process using the 15 U.S.C. 1681 EB, etc., or the privacy status or general purpose. That's the old way. Now, my lawyer says this. He's not saying that it doesn't work. They're not obligated to do so, if that makes sense. It's not the legal way to delete the bankruptcy, okay? So I'm gonna show you the legal way, but he says the reason why they're doing it is because they don't want to deal with it, they had a hard day at work, and then they have the power to delete it, all right? They have the power to delete it, okay? Now, guys, the new way that people are not really talking about, the legal way, per my lawyer's mouth, how to get rid of a bankruptcy is called motion to seal the bankruptcy. Now, obviously do this after the derogatories attached to the bankruptcy are off and deleted, okay, and settled, right? After this is off, you want to do motion to seal. Now, what does it mean, motion to seal? I will say this, it is very hard to do. It is very hard to do, and is mainly done with Chapter 7 and 13 dismissed bankruptcies, okay? It has to be dismissed for it to work, okay? Is it hard? Yes. Is it possible and is this happening? Yes. Okay. Now the audience is going to say, hey, it's very hard to do so. You don't know what he's talking about. No, I do know what I'm talking about because it's per my lawyer's mouth. Is it hard to do? Yes, but it can be done. So how are you going to do it? You can do it yourself, but it's best to go through a bankruptcy lawyer who specializes in motion to seals for bankruptcies. And what you're arguing is basically the privacy play. Hey, this is a public record. If you argue to the judge on why it's part of your privacy, hey, I don't want my public record out there. It's a privacy play. I'm a big figure, or I don't want basically I want it to be intact, right? I don't want my stuff out there. The privacy play. If you argue that well and the judge grants that motion to seal, that's the way to get it off. And what you do is you take that court order and you send it into the disputes to the credit reporting agencies. They have less than 45 days to delete that. And if they don't, that's when you can get an FCRA violation to sue for that violation. Hey guys, if you found value, like and comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll see you later. Peace.